What's going on, Muscle Monsters? Alain Gonzalez here, and today I want to talk about rep tempo, or the amount of time it should take you to perform each rep, okay? Now there's four components: the concentric, isometric, eccentric, and then another isometric. I'll give you an example. For example, on the bench press, the concentric would be pushing the weight up, the isometric would be the pause at the top, eccentric would be bringing it down, and then the other isometric would be the pause at the bottom, all right? So first, let's talk about the eccentric portion. Now, most of you guys already know that number one, you can handle a heavier load on the eccentric than you can on the concentric, right? And number two, that the eccentric is just as, if not more beneficial for muscle growth than the concentric, all right? Now, let me explain why this is the case, all right? When we are pushing a weight against resistance, right, in the concentric, we are recruiting a lot more muscle fibers, all right, than we are on the eccentric. So there is a limited amount of fibers recruited to lengthen the muscle under tension, all right? So this is beneficial because since there's only a limited amount, that means those fibers bear all of the load, okay? So what that means is that because there's only a limited amount of them handling all of this weight, then there's more micro trauma, so more adaptations and more growth, right? So I hope that makes sense, and I'll give you a quick analogy, all right? Let's say there is a motorcycle, and you take four guys and they all lift the motorcycle up, right? But then two of the guys go away, and it's up to just two of them to lower that weight, right? That's kind of how it works with the concentric versus eccentric, all right? Now, a lot of people will argue about slow rep tempos, but the problem with those is that when you're performing a concentric lift too slowly, this means that you're going to have to reduce the load that you're working with, right? And when you reduce the load that you're working with, the eccentric is diminished, okay? So let's say, for example, I'm bench pressing 225, right? Because my concentric is explosive and under control, right? So what's happening is on the eccentric, those fibers are bearing the load of the 225, okay? But let's say I had to reduce the load because I want to, for whatever reason, bring the weight up slowly, right? I might have to use, I don't know, let's say 175. Well, it's not going to take those muscle fibers it's not going to take them a lot to handle the 175 on the way down, so the micro trauma, right, the stimulus is going to be reduced significantly, all right? You're almost eliminating the whole purpose of a heavy controlled negative, all right? Not to mention that the data suggests, and if I can find this study, I'll put it in the description, or studies, that the best concentric tempo is an explosive one, right? Obviously, it's going to take a lot more force and strength to push a weight from point A to point B faster than to bring it up slower, okay? And that's just, you know, kind of basic stuff, all right? And then now let's talk about the isometrics, okay? Now, this is not the end-all, be-all. If you want to pause at the top or pause at the bottom, and you have certain reasons why you want to do so, that's perfectly fine. However, pausing at the top at the lockout is not necessary, and I don't believe it's optimal, right? Because if you take, for example, a bench press, right? We're at the top. You can probably hold this weight here for a significant period of time, right? Because there's not really much resistance, okay? So what you want to do instead is once you're here, go ahead and engage or initiate the eccentric right away. Just make sure that you're still going through that full range of motion, okay? Because a lockout doesn't mean that you have to hyperextend your joints. It just means that you would be pausing at the top in a locked out position. All right, so when you're performing the bench press, instead of bringing it up, locking out at the top, and then bringing it down, although that's fine, what you could do is just bring it up, make sure you get that full contraction so the arm is straight, but instead of pausing, you go ahead and go right back into the eccentric portion. What that's going to do is keep the muscle under tension for a longer period of time. All right, so again, you can hold the weight here forever. You can hold the weight here forever. All right, so instead of giving the muscle that little bit of a rest from the tension, you give it that constant tension, but still in that full range of motion. And I think that about sums it up. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it wasn't too much information. If you have any questions regarding this video, leave them in the comment section, and I hope there's a lot of them because I certainly have answers more than likely to any question that you might have concerning rep tempo. So do that. Make sure to click the like button below. Subscribe for more videos. If you haven't already, download my Mass in a Flash guide. It's a 12-week program, completely free. Link in the description. Go there, put your name and your email address, and you'll get instant access to that. Subscribe for more videos, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.